Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Daredevil issue number one. This was a surprise because I had no idea the things that had happened previously in the books because I just kind of fell off the Daredevil. Now I'm reading this and it's like, man, what the hell did I miss? So we're starting up all completely brand new and Daredevil is born again. Again. So we're talking about who made this comic book. We'll go on from there. So Saladin Ahmed is the writer. Aaron Cooter is on art. Jesus Abertov doing the colors, and Cowles. VC's Clayton Cowles doing the letters. John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, and Marcio Menez doing the cover art. Bunch of variant covers out there. Anyway, this was, this is all right. This wasn't a bad issue at all. You start reading it, and it's in the preview pages, for the love of God. And I was just talking about it on the Discord channel. If you guys ever want to come over to the Discord channel, I believe there's a link in the description below. That Matt Murdock is now a priest. He's Father Murdock. So that's interesting because apparently in the previous run, he sacrificed himself and remained in hell so that his friends could be saved. So he kind of pulled like a Jesus kind of thing. For God so loved the world that he sacrificed his only begotten devil so that the earth can be saved. I don't know, it's one of those kind of things, you know? Anyway, so he's at St. Nicholas Youth Home. That's what he's doing here, which is still basically, I guess, kind of sort of part of the church, but at the same time not. There's a thing at the end where the police show up and they demand that Matt Murdock open the door. So it doesn't look like he's actually in the church itself because the church is supposed to be a tax-free asylum type situation. Anybody, including the police, have the right to just walk right in, you know? The idea, though, that here they didn't is because it's the youth home specifically. And if you got a bunch of kids and anybody's just allowed to walk in at any old time, that's not usually a good thing, right? I don't think that maintaining their tax-free status should allow people to just walk in on kids. So anyway, yeah, Matt is doing his thing. Saladin Ahmed, I know, is a Muslim, so he has the whole thing where the one taxi driver is trying to make maghrib. It's like, I'll just be a couple of minutes. I can tell you for a fact it's going to take at least 20, bare minimum 20 minutes. So that was a lie. But then later on, while we think, oh, he's so culturally informed, Matt shows up late for dinner. It should be understood that since Matt is an Irishman, he knows you can call me anything you want, just never call me late for dinner. The Irish families, they usually have so many kids. If you're late for dinner, it's your ass. Like they're reading seconds of your firsts because you were late. So just silly little things like that. We're meeting the characters for the first time. There are two quick fights in here. One is against some bullies. There's a white pimp who's who apparently needs his arm broken and stuff like that. It was the weirdest, dumbest thing. Whatever it is, what it is. So there's a white pimp nowadays. Anyway, and Matt has to beat him up, and the kids are like, wow. One of the things I really did like about this, though, that particular fight, which otherwise was kind of silly and unnecessary, there were better ways to go about his first fight. I make no mistake, I love that we're keeping Matt on the streets. I love that. It's just the little things that just seem a little too cliche. Anyway, I love the idea that his biggest conundrum were that the kids were there and cheering him on, not just watching. So he's like, I'm making a really bad impression on these kids. I'm teaching them all the wrong lessons. Possibly. I know that with a lot of us, I'm going to preach a little bit here. Fitting, apropos, right? Many of us think that, oh, as long as I don't do the things or teach the things that I learned when I was a kid, then I'll be okay. There are many of us who grow up with that wrong sense of self, right? Not true. You became the person who you are, and you have to be happy with the person who you are. So the lessons that you teach are actually the lessons that you know. Because if you're trying to teach lessons that you never learned, You're trying to teach, oh, these were things I learned and they're bad, so I'll just teach other lessons. Well, you don't actually know those lessons. So you might be teaching them wrong and actually making it worse. And at the very least, you won't sound convincing. No, Matt grew up learning how to be a fighter. And at the end of the day, being a fighter has its own special qualities. There's a courage that comes there, the ability to speak your own mind, to find your own sources, to learn what you choose to learn. Because you simply cannot beat that kind of confidence. You can't even beat that out of somebody who's a fighter. And that's one of the things that whenever somebody says, I love Daredevil, I can never quite put my finger on it, that's all it is. Confidence, like no other character in the Marvel Universe. Boom. Let's move on from there. So after meeting all these characters, we also see Elektra is there. And this is actually kind of cool. I really dig seeing Elektra there because she's back. She's wearing the devil horn. She's technically the new Daredevil for all intents and purposes. But another devil shows up, another demon, as it were, shows up. I believe this is supposed to be the figure of Sloth. There's a part where Matt is... We've got new clothing for him. He's wearing the priest's robes, not robes, but, the priest's garb plus the collar, right? The little white collar that goes in between the actual folding collar of your black clothes with the short sleeves. And he's got the two golden, what the heck are they called? The candlesticks, right? I see this and I'm just like, holy crap, dude. That's what we need. That's what we need. Matt with the candelabras as a toy. And I'm sure that we're going to get it at some point. So Matt goes there to fight against Elektra, but it's not actually her. We're seeing the way he sees and he doesn't understand why he's here. He doesn't understand how he's here. He just knows that he was given a calling by God. And now he sees the devil. Look, there's the horns and everything with this strange sight that God has chosen to give me with, right? I like that there's this little bit of doubt and questioning. What I wish is that it would have kind of gone on a little bit longer. But one of the things I've learned about different writers, one of the things I learned specifically about Saladin Ahmed is just shut up and trust him. Look, if he winds up going in a direction I don't like, okay. But I really dug his Miles Morales. I really dug it when he was writing Ms. Marvel. And I don't think there's a single soul out there who didn't like when he was writing Black Bolt. Yeah. So I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to trust that he knows what he's doing. This was not the best first issue I've ever read. This was not anywhere close to the best Daredevil I've ever read. If anything, this was kind of blah, right? They showed at one point that Matt seemed to indicate that he was stealing some of the money that he was getting from the church for the youth home, this orphanage basically that he's running. It doesn't sound like a Matt Murdock I know, but this isn't the Matt Murdock that I know. It's a different version. It's Saladin Ahmed's version. So, okay, I got to sit back and I got to trust that it's going to be good. And if it's not, I got to be prepared to just get up and walk away from it. And I've gotten quite used to that in comics. As far as this, though, there was nothing egregious enough to make me not want to see this. It looks like he's going to be fighting some of the other 7 deadly sins, the 6 other deadly sins. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to finding out that it's maybe God who brought him back. Maybe it's not God who brought him back. Maybe it's something else. We don't know how he came back. And I am interested in this mystery. And this could go in a really good direction. It could also just go completely ape crap bonkers. I don't know. My point is that it was good enough for me to decide to read the next issue when it comes out next month or so. I'm hoping that Saladin can kind of pick this up, but I have enough faith in what he's, done before to know that I'm probably going to at least enjoy what he's doing now. Guys, I just want to very briefly mention Kickstarter, 20% funded. Guys, I know that you've been, a lot of you guys have been following me for a really long time. I don't ask for much except like the video and watch an ad, right? I'm asking you if you play Dungeons and Dragons, this book right here, This is going to be, this is not 80 pages in and of itself, but it's going to be 80 pages, really well done. All right. And I mean, I'm just saying, this is a fantastic book on riddles that is going to get your juices flowing and make you write some of the best riddles out there, or just use the more than 300 riddles that I've written in here for you. And the answers are all in the back. You're going to love it. Go check out the Kickstarter. Consider backing it. I'd really like to try and get this thing funded and then some. I'll talk to you all later. Love and peace. Lots of hair grease. You know I don't use it. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.